With a true friend, a true friend, with a hand to hold or a hand to lend. Hello, friends. It's Gary Rasberry here, and welcome to NeLL TV. I'm very glad you could join us. It's great to see you all, and today's episode is called Writing a Song with Julie and Joel. Today. The idea of writing a song with Julie and Joel, it came out of one of our musical sessions that you may have attended, where I sing some songs. And as you know, Julie and Joel, they love music, and I know all of you do as well. And one of the things that I love about being involved with New Leaf Link is that the thing that I love so much, music, is something that you love and we get to share together. Well, Julie and Joel, they really love my music, and Julie has always been so kind about her comments about my songs, and she always has lots of questions for me about writing songs. So we got talking some more about that, and we decided it would be a great idea if maybe I wrote a song, but Julie and Joel helped me pick a topic. So that got us talking about the difference between living in the city, like Chris and I do, or living in the country. And Julie, we decided, let's try to write a song about living rurally, living where a lot of you live. And that's what we did. So I'm now going to welcome my special guests today, Julie and Joel, to join me. And we are going to talk about the song that we wrote together. So welcome to NeLL TV. Thanks for joining us. And now here are Julie and Joel. Well, greetings everyone. And this is NeLL TV. And I'm here as advertised with my two special guests today, Julie and Joel. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Gary.
Nice to see you both. So I have told everybody that today's episode is about songwriting. What topic for a song could we come up with for our session? What should we write about? The one line that you said to Chris and I on our Zoom call was that you said, around out here our currency is beer. And so that was the line, and which started my brain going as a songwriter. Sometimes all you need is a line, one line. And so the line was out here, and it was a rhyming line. Out here, our currency's beer. So that's all I had. But I also had the idea that what that meant. You didn't just say out here, our currency's beer, period, stop. You said out here, if you do someone a favor, they wouldn't pay you back. They would probably give you a case of beer to say thank you.
It's true.
Yeah, and then you went on to say that similarly, if someone's music was too loud, like here in the city, you might, go and knock on their door and say, can you please turn that down? And you said that, out here, if the music's too loud, you'd probably go over and join the party.
Exactly.
So that's what got the whole thing going. And that's what got my songwriting brain going. And so now we here we are. I should start by saying that the reason I wanted you and Joel as guests is because, everyone at New Leaf Link loves music. And so one of the beautiful things that I get to do as a part of New Leaf Link is I get to come and play music. So I'm doing what I love, but it's even better because when I get to do what I love to people who love what I love, then we get to love things together. And you and Joel are probably for me, the prime examples of two New Leaf Link friends who absolutely love music.
We do, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joel, first of all, before we go any further, is there anybody who might be watching our NeLL TV episode right now that you would like to say hi to? Any of your NeLL friends?
Yeah.
Who? Who would you like to say hello to?
Mary and Brian and Nick
And who else?
and Mike B.
Mike B. Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. And Julie, do you want to say hi to any of your newly flink friends?
I want to say hello to everybody, but one of the people I am missing the most is my good friend and co-worker Cheryl.
Okay. And I would like to say hello to my friends up at Sharbert Lake, who I'm missing a lot. I'm thinking of Christian, who also really loves music and also loves requesting certain songs. He always wants to hear Neil Young. He also loves to hear the song "Here We Have Time," and he likes my Serious Wheels on the Bus song. So Christian and Zach, I wanted to say hello to them in particular.
Nice.
So, but you are here as our special guest because you love music. I'm thankful that you love my music. And when we get together, Julie, in particular, you're always asking me questions, and you always usually say, "Well, I don't know if this sounds like a stupid question, but how does that happen? Or how did you do that?" And I don't find those questions foolish at all. I think they're really interesting questions. So,
Good.
yeah, that's why we're here today. So, so that's my story about where we're going with the song. And I wanted to ask you if you have anything to say about around here, about living out there, or about songwriting, or questions for me.
Well, as it turns out, we do have a couple questions for you.
I hope they're hard
Joel,
ones.
do you want to ask the first one?
Yeah. Do you know how many songs you have written?
Well, in fact, it's funny you should ask that question, Joel, but I published a book on my 60th birthday, and I wanted to have a project where I could publish 60 songs at 60. So I have a book that's actually also called Polishing Stone, and it's called Polishing Stone, The Collected Lyrics. So I collected 60 of my songs when I turned 60 and published them.
Okay, and we were wondering, of the songs you have written, what is your favorite song?
And that is a very difficult question to answer.
We thought so.
Yeah. So I guess that changes. It's obviously changed over the years because I
Yeah.
keep writing new songs, and some songs become a favorite song. So one song that has been a favorite of mine that never got on a record, but finally did with when I recorded Polishing Stone this past year, was called Full Moon, and it's a song I wrote when I was living in Alberta. It's a kind of a poem set to music about the full moon in the mountains in February in Alberta. So that was a really beloved song to me. And now when I think about songs, I think that the title track to Polishing Stone, the song Polishing Stone, I think that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question. What inspires you to write a song?
All kinds of things. Other musicians and artists inspire me to write songs. Two of the people that I cite all the time as being probably my most predominant influences would be Neil Young and Bruce Cockburn. They're two very different artists, but I've grown up really, they've kind of changed my life as a music appreciator and as a musician. They've really shaped me with ideas and with inspired me. I'm inspired today is the 50th anniversary of Joni Mitchell's album Blue. And,
Okay, is it?
Yeah, and so Joni has inspired me and influenced me. I can watch a film, other people inspire me, ideas inspire me, and all those things kind of go into me wanting to to create music.
Okay. Has COVID inspired you? And if so, what kind of song would COVID inspire you to write?
Right. Well, I can't say that COVID has inspired me, but the pandemic has provided me with a set of circumstances that has lent itself to songwriting. And one of those things is that, particularly in the first lockdown, if we can all think back to those days, when we were really locked down, the world had almost stood still. And I was at the time living in Yarker, and so I was living out here, around here, and I had the good fortune of being able just to walk out my door and walk down the Trans-Canada Trail. So I was doing that every day, and probably walking 6 to 8 kilometers a day. And
Wow.
I wasn't walking with a purpose. Like here in town, in the city, I walked downtown to go do errands. But there, I was just walking, and there was just me and the trees and the woods, and as I went, I'm always writing songs in my head, but I'm not always conscious that I'm writing songs. But when I'm not doing errands or I'm not seeing cars, I'm just walking. A line comes to me, like around here, our currency's beer. That might come to me, and then I would just keep thinking about that. And because I have my phone, I would use my phone, and I would use talk to text. So I would.
Oh, okay.
I would pick up my phone, and I would just press talk to text, and I would say the line, and then I'd stop, and then it sends me it's like sending me my own lyrics.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and then I walk a bit further, then I'd get another line, I'd write that, I'd talk that, and then when I got home, I'd take all my texts and send them to myself into my computer. So then I would suddenly have a whole lyric sheet, and then
Wow.
yeah. So the pandemic gave me time to think. I wasn't writing pandemic related songs. I was just writing whatever was happening in my life. I didn't really tend to write anything that was deep and meaningful in terms of what was happening to the world.
Mhm.
But I did write just lots of things that I was expressing at the time.
So at some point you will turn those into songs that we may get to hear then?
I have turned them into songs,
Okay.
and they just haven't been recorded anywhere. And that's my next job, is to get those into some kind of form.
Well, thank you for telling us about
Yeah,
that, Gary.
thank you for asking. I just started imagining where you live, and Sydenham and that area, the village of Sydenham. So I have a sense of the grocery store, the hardware store, the gas station, the beer store. There's a person, and he runs the
Yes, there
store,
is. Yeah.
right? And there's a family, and so that family has a role in the village. And so I was thinking about all the things I know about living rurally, and I realized that a lot of songs I write are story songs. They tell stories, and like, for example, the song "It's Not Easy Being a Kid." There's basically 4 verses, and each verse is a little story. There's the dad, who sets the shed on fire. There's the aunt who climbs the tree and gets stung by a bee. There's the mother who smashes the car into the front door, and the brother who wanders away, where his parents thought he was sleeping all snug in his bed, and he was watching TV at the neighbors instead. Hello, friends. You've been watching NeLL TV, episode 1, where Gary writes a song with Julie and Joel. We've been hearing the story, but we still haven't heard the song. So we hope you'll tune again in for our next episode, episode 2, of Gary and Julie and Joel write a song. You're listening and watching NeLL TV. Wishing you well, everybody. Take good care of each other.